Welcome to the Artist Academy podcast. Andrea Earhart here, muralist, adventurer, and your host as I interview inspiring artists who are killing it in the art game to show you that it's completely possible to make a great living doing the thing you love to do. We highlight the business side of art to help you reach more customers, increase profits, and ultimately live a life of creative freedom. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to another solo episode all about creating captions for social media. So we all know already that your photo and your art is everything, right? That's the main attraction. That's the number one thing. That's like the cake recipe, the stuff that goes in the batter to make it great. But the caption, I believe, is like an icing on that cake that really gets people in and sticks them and helps them get to know you quite a bit better. A picture says 1,000 words, but a caption can really explain what it is they're seeing, what it is, how you made something, what you were going through that day, how you accomplished something. It's how you can make someone smile and or relate to your content even more. And if you're just starting out, I just want to say it's totally fine to just be posting photos and maybe do a little description of what it is and whatnot. But if you want to up your game a bit and you've got the whole posting consistently thing down and you're like, why is nobody commenting? I'm going to say that it might be your captions. I think captions are a really great way to just up your game and intrigue your followers. I think it can help increase engagement. I think it can make people stay on your content longer, which increases views, which increases sales, because that's why we're here. We don't want to be posting things and writing out captions and taking our time to do that if it's not converting to sales. I don't, but I know that creating a really, really good caption for your photo can really help increase engagement, thus increase sales, which is why I do it, which is why I'm suggesting for you to do it. And I will say, sometimes I get really lazy. There are some weeks I am so busy that I'm just like, this is what I did. Okay, great. Have a great day. And that's fine. So I just post and I think of that as kind of being lazy. But then when I really want to up my game, I spend time on captions, and this is what I do. I like to approach this with a very happy-go-lucky mentality. I like to make people smile. I like to just promote positivity and just all of that stuff. So I want to encourage you to think about what you want to do. What is your intention for writing a caption? Do you want to make people smile? And if you don't, that's totally fine. This is just my natural way. That's just what I want to do. You could want to inform. You could want to educate. You could want to tell a story that has a bit of drama in it. You could tell how you overcame something. You could just describe the project and describe how much fun you had doing it, or how hard it was, or how much time it took. You can do any of that, but I want to really just start there and say, what is your intention? What do you want people to feel? Or what do you want them to know? What do you want them to know about you? And a good way to reverse this is to put yourself in your customer's shoes and think, what would my customer want to know about this process? Do they want to know that it went super smooth, that you got along with the customer really well, that you appreciated each other, that you guys had great communication? Those are things, I'm just going to tell you, that customers really want to know. They're like, is she easy to work with? Is she going to show up on time? Is she going to do all these things? And in the captions, it's a really great way to let people know that just by talking about your other customers and how much you like them. It looks good to future customers when you do stuff like that. I get a lot of the times, people read my captions way more than I think they do. So I've gotten over this fear of posting, and if you're still there, that's totally fine. We're going to work through that. But I've gotten over this fear of posting because in my mind, nobody is interested and nobody really reads it, I'm just saying whatever I want to say. I'm like, okay, if somebody reads this, hopefully they'll smile. Hopefully it'll make them think in a positive way, whatever. And I put it out there and it blows my mind that people actually read this stuff. And I think that mentality really helps me to just post and not overthink it too much, but just post. So one quick tip, whenever you are writing out your captions, and if it takes you 30 minutes to write out 3 sentences, that's okay. We've all been there. I've been there too. I've been paralyzed and not wanting to do anything. And I remember when I first started telling stories on my Instagram captions, I was like, who cares? Like, why? I feel so self-absorbed talking about myself. And so I started telling stories, and I remember running into so I think it was my husband's grandmother, and she mentioned, and she was like, I really love to read your stories. And I was like, oh, okay, that's all I needed. I just needed one person to say they liked it, and that's why. I mean, granted, it was like a family member, it doesn't matter. I just needed one person to say that they liked it. That way my efforts are, put to good use or whatnot. But one great way to help with that paralyzing fear, that if you have that of writing captions out, is to write it out and then leave it for a day. Just leave it and just give yourself permission to write out exactly what you want to say, pretend nobody is watching, and then not post it. Okay? Bear with me. Come back on it the next day and then reread it. This is something that I still do sometimes, because when I'm writing out something, sometimes the words don't flow as well. I rewrite and all that. So I just kind of throw out my thoughts in my notes section of my phone and I type it out. And I'm like, I don't know if that's making sense. I'll just put it away. And then I'll read it again 24 hours later, and you're coming at it like you're grading a paper. Like, you don't have to write the paper over again. You just get to grade it, fix a couple sentences, move a couple things around, and post. And that is my recipe for just creating a really good post. I think there's something about just sleeping on it. There's a term just sleep on it and you'll figure it out the next day. But just sleeping on it, coming at it with a different mentality, because if you're like me, every day I feel like I'm a different person. I mean, either a little more anxious or a little more excited, or I don't know, every day is something new. So I'm coming at it with a different perspective, and usually you can proofread your own paper a lot better when it's already written out. Just start there. And I want to encourage you to not just describe what you're doing and not just describe what you're painting and how good it went, but another way to go about this would be to just give a little information about yourself. Not in every post. I wouldn't talk about yourself in maybe every post, but just every once in a while, just describe your mood that day, or your process, and describe things you like. Say, I went here and then I had, I don't know, vanilla ice cream right after, and I really like vanilla for some reason. I don't know. I'm just saying, put stuff out there that's a little bit outside of your job. If you want to just post a picture of yourself, that's fine too. And maybe describe your perspective on something, or describe how much you love your job, or describe how you're a night person rather than a morning person, or describe something about yourself that might be interesting. So for instance, I put my cat on my stories quite a bit, and she has absolutely nothing to do with painting. Absolutely nothing. But I like her, so I put her on there, and it's just part of my life. She's in my studio all the time, and she's super cute. She tries to climb on me whenever I'm painting, and it's adorable. And so I'll put her on my stories sometimes, and my intention isn't to do this, but I know that if anybody is a cat person out there, they are immediately like, oh yeah, we have an ultimate bond, and I don't even know it yet. I don't even know who they are, but because they have a cat and I have a cat, we are BFFs. I know this because when I see other artists that have cats, she's like me, And especially, I've had messages from people, they've had an orange cat. So I have an orange cat. If they have an orange cat, they will let me know, and they will let me know how much of a bond that is with them in the weird roundabout way. And it's the little things like that So you might be asking me, okay, Andrea, why would I want to let people know about all the weird quirks that I have? And I will say, if you're weird, which we all are, show it, because that is one of the most relatable things. If you're a little shy, if you're a little weird, like anytime that I share how I have a fear of public speaking, or I have a fear of just talking to people sometimes, a lot of artists are like, oh my gosh, me too. And I'm like, I know, because I think 90% of the population has a little bit of that. So embrace your weirdness. But anyway, so if you're asking yourself, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to put all the weird things out there? It's because, so put yourself in your customer's shoes. Say, okay, and let's spin this a little bit so it's not all about painting, but so say you are wanting to design your house and you're wanting to hire someone for it. This is all pretend. We're pretending that we have a bunch of money to hire an interior designer and we get to choose whoever our interior designer is. We just won the lottery last week and we get to design a big house. And this is how I think sometimes. So imagine you get to hire an interior designer and you are so excited about it. And you follow a couple interior designers in your area and they're pretty similar. They all have the same stuff. There's a lot of like modern things happening right now, like white on white, lots of blacks and whites, and just a lot of grays. And everybody is kind of posting the same stuff, but you follow this one interior designer and she posts about her dog all the time. And she has a big dog like you do, and she loves coffee. So she posts about how much she loves coffee and drinks it every day. And you happen to love coffee and have a big dog just like she does. And she shows up all the time and she just gives a little bit of her personality and you just like her. She's likable. Whereas some of the other interior designers in your area, they do great work too, but you just can't relate to them because they show up really professional all the time. And you might have a different perspective of this than I do, and so just take this what you can. But when I see someone showing up really professional, I feel distant from them because I don't know. It just, to me, it seems a little fake, and to me, it's just not relatable because I don't naturally show up like that. Now, I just want to preface that with there are a lot of people who have a very natural elegance to them and they show up very professional, and that's just who they are, and they relate to other people like that. I'm not really like that, which is why I really want to encourage you to be your unique self. In every post, you don't have to be like, I like this, I like that, and this is my personality. But maybe just like every once in a while, because it will make you stand out. And we all know, because we follow so many, that there are so many artists out there, and we want to, make ourselves unique and not just stand out with our work, but stand out with who we are. You get to shine with your personality. But just to combat that, 1 second, we follow all of these artists, and so we think it's so saturated, right? I just want to remind you, even though I just told you to make yourself unique, I want to remind you that your future customers don't follow as many artists as you do. So if you're in the whole comparison game, yes, we want to stand out amongst all the other artists, but just know the majority of people, I'd say 99% of the people who follow you don't follow me. They have no idea who I am. And that's just a reality. And I'm okay with that. And you should be fine with that. And so I just wanted to put that in there too. While we're all making ourselves unique, you're looking to stand out with the other local artists in your area, that your customers might be following 1 or 2 of them. So it makes it seem like you have to try a little bit less hard because there's not as much competition out there, right? There's not as much competition as you think, but there still is. So anyway, talking about another prompt that we can do to get people commenting. So not just letting people know who you are and sharing some stories and all of that. We want to get people to start commenting on our stuff. So the best way to do that is ask a question. But I want to up the ante a little bit. I heard this about a year ago and it just stuck with me, and it's so true. And this is it. This is gold advice, and I wish I could quote where I got it from, but just know it's not mine. Ask questions that people can't help but answer. Okay? So questions like that, are you a cat or a dog person? Every cat or dog lover will comment on there. Be like, drop an emoji. Say you have a cat painting, say you have a dog painting, be like, which one are you? Are you a cat or a dog person? People can't help themselves. They have to comment because for some reason they have to let you know that they love their pet. And they want to stick up for all the other dog owners out there, and you guys are going to form a clan, and they want to see other dog owners in the comments, and they have got to comment. Things like that. Another one might be, are you team black and white or team full color? Which one do you like? And what you could do is you could just take a photo of your painting as normal, and then you could go edit it into a black and white version, and you can upload both of those in the same social media post, and there's that. You can literally say, are you team black and white or team full color? And people can't help but answer that. They just can't, because they will usually have a strong opinion in one way or another. Another one is, and I just used this in my story here recently, I'm really bad with naming paintings. And so this is not just a question to get people to comment. I really wanted to know what I should name a painting, because I'm really bad at it. I'm like, I don't know. I literally, if you go to my website, my paintings are named elephant, lions, rainbow clouds, or so, I don't know, something like that. I'm running out of names for cloud paintings. I can't just call them like cloud with elephant, cloud with penguins, cloud with... I need to start getting creative with it. So I did that one time, and they gave me amazing answers. I was blown away, like things I would have never thought of. And so I'm going to start doing that from now on. So you feel free to take my idea and ask people, what should you name this? And people will use their creativity, and you will be so surprised at the things you get. But ask questions that people can't help but answer. So another one might be, I don't know, just throwing things out there. Are you a morning person or a night person? Two very different things. Maybe for artists, it's like, are you an oil painter or acrylics? Do you prefer modern or rustic? For people who like to decorate their home, and you could literally put your painting in the wall picture app walls, and you could do like a rustic one, and you could do a modern one and say, hey, where does this painting belong? What does your house look like? Is it modern or is it rustic like this? Things like that. Write these down, because you're going to forget when you go to make a post, and that way you'll have it and you can just draw from it. I have many notes sections in my phone of just different post ideas that I can just draw from. So any time I have a photo and I'm like, oh, what am I going to say here? Oh, I'll go to my notes and be like, hey, did I write any captions a while ago that I wanted to revisit later and edit and post? And I'll just go and I'll go do it. And all of these captions can also be things that you get on video and actually talk about, not just write out, actually talk about in your story. Or you could make a reel from it, right? Any of these captions that we're talking about, be like, hey, guys, do you like this or this? Let me know. You can literally make it into a video and or a reel or whatever, put it on your story somewhere, and then do that. And so I know you guys, and I know a lot of people are cringing like, oh no, I am not doing that. No, I am not showing myself on video. So I will say, I said that kind of to make writing out a caption seem not so bad, isn't it? It's not so bad now. Just like writing it out and posting, not as bad as getting in front of the camera, saying it a million times, editing it, putting a filter on it, and then just doing all of that on your story. I have since gotten used to doing that, and so I need to take my own advice and just talk more on my story. I need to do that because that's when people get to know me, and really the more I show up on my story, even though Instagram isn't pushing out stories very much, the more I show up there, the more DMs I get and the more conversations that just start about art. So I will say, even though we're talking about captions, you can take your caption, talk about it on your story, because that really gets the engagement going. But okay, one more thing. If you talk about tips for artists, you will attract other artists. So I do this a lot. I talk about what I do, I talk about tips for artists, I do a lot of different things, and I'm attracting both. I'm attracting customers and I'm attracting artists. So if you're seeing me and you're seeing me talk about how to make prints and how to do that, you can talk about that, that's fine, but if you're wanting to have buyers, I would more go in the route of letting people get to know you and or talking about your customer experience or asking a question, maybe not giving artists tips. Do you, boo. But I'm just saying, like, that's what's gonna happen. And last but not least, you can add a call to action at the end of it for people to go visit your website. If you do nothing else, maybe just get in the habit of being like, hey, for more prints like this, or if you guys want to see more art like this, you can go check it out on my website, artbyandreae.com, and see the full list of everything I've done this month, or see all of the print options in all of the sizes. So just add a little call to action at the end of it. Either if you're asking people to comment, maybe just do that. But if it's like a get to know you post, be like, by the way, you can always contact me through my website and or check out all of my other work on my website, artbyandreae.com. Boom! Because we want people to at least go to our website, get to know us, because that is where the magic happens, and that's where they can get on our email list, and that's where we can keep them forever. So, okay, that is all I had for you today. I'm going to do this really short one, and this is actually a kind of a clip, sort of, out of an Instagram training that we did inside of the Artist Academy Advanced a while ago, maybe 6 months ago. So that video is there. There is tons of training on videos and Instagram and captions and photos and tagging, and just all of that stuff is available for you in the Artist Academy Advanced at any time. So if you're currently in there, go over there and check it out. If you are not, then join. You can go to artistacademy.co to apply. We are currently accepting members to grow your social media, grow your art business, and make more sales. Okay, that is it. That is all I have for today. I hope this helps a lot, and I hope it helps you to gain the confidence and the habit to create more Instagram captions, which creates more engagement, which makes you more money. Okay, I will see you guys next week. This episode is sponsored by the Mural Master Program inside of the Artist Academy Advanced membership. This program is specifically designed to help you with every step of the mural process. From coming up with an idea, to finding a wall to paint it on, to pitching your ideas to businesses, and finally, of course, I teach you exactly how to paint large scale. Murals are a lot of fun and a great way to grow your art business. I know, because it has been one of the top ways that I've been able to grow my own art business as quickly as I have. With several years of experience as a muralist, I've dialed down the painting techniques, the proposals, the pitching, the whole bit. And now I've compiled it into one resource for you called the Mural Master Program. This is included inside of the Artist Academy Advanced membership, and I would love to invite you to join us by going to artistacademy.co, that is artistacademy.co, and click the link to see the Mural Master Program and learn more. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. If you review our podcast and send a screenshot of that review to me on Instagram, I am Art by Andrea Earhart. I will gladly share your art on my Instagram story with a reach of over 60,000 as a thank you for helping us grow this Artist Academy community. And speaking of community, if you would like to be a part of our absolutely free and very encouraging community on social media, just head over to facebook.com/groups/Artist Academy, and I will see you next week.